So already we have polity terminology classes, history terminology classes, and ethics terminology class we have, history terminology class we have. Yesterday you have economy, today it will be environment, and tomorrow you will have geography, by which extra, which we didn't promise you, terminologies for NCERTs I am telling for those people. So terminologies will be most important to easily understand the subject. And environment is also having a huge role. Why, sir? Because as you know that for UPSC prelims examination and for Indian Forest Service examination, there is a common test, prelims, but for mains is separate for Indian Forest Service. So Indian Forest Service means compulsory that person need to have command on what? Environment. So hence for Indian Forest Service people, they are asking more question on environment, as both are having common prelims test, hence more number of environment questions are there. That you have to understand from day one. 15 questions, approximately 15 questions in the prelims, mainly 15 questions are from environment topic, 15 questions are from environment subject. So if you divide polity 15, economy 15, geography 15, history 15, 60, and another 15 from environment. So overall 75 questions are in your pocket if you are strong in big 5 for prelims. For mains it is big 4. So environment is also part of big thing. But in order to have very good command on environment, first you need to have command on geography. Both are interrelated. How you need to have command, if you want to have command on governance, you need to complete polity first. So if you complete polity, then you will understand governance. If you complete geography, then you will understand environment. Okay. But anyhow, the terms I am going to discuss now, basic terms, very basic things. Like first one, biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Biodiversity refers to variety. Biodiversity refers to everything. Whatever comes under the earth is called as biodiversity. It can be human beings, it can be animals, it can be insects, it can be amphibians, it can be reptiles. So everything together is called as biodiversity. Wherever there is life, it is called as biodiversity. Life is there means it is called as biodiversity. So where the life is there is called as bio, diversity is there, hence varieties are there, that together encompasses by a single term called as biodiversity. So whenever I am using the word biodiversity means you should understand that it is life. It is biotic thing I am talking about. I am talking about those things which are having life, hence it become what? Living things. Hence called as what? Living organisms. So whenever I discuss from the point of view of living organisms, whenever in environment we come across living organisms, it is called as biotic. Biotic together encompasses is called as biodiversity. All the living organisms from plants, animals, microorganisms, wherever the life is there, hence it is bio. Wherever the life is there, it is called as what? Bio. In that biology there is diversity. So it can be insects, it can be reptiles, it can be animals, it can be plants, it can be microorganisms are also part of biodiversity, which encompasses everything. Plants are there, human beings are there, animals are there, fishes are there, small insects are there, microorganisms are there. That complete, that umbrella term is called as biodiversity. Wherever the life is there, whatever the living beings are there, together we call it as what? Biodiversity. Biotic things are called as biodiversity. So the biotic things which are having life and which are present in diversity in different models is called as biodiversity. Second, ecosystem. What is ecosystem? It's a community of living organisms. It's a community of living organisms interacting with each other and their physical environment. Means what? Ocean is an ecosystem. It is what? It's a community of living organisms who interact with each other and who interact with their surroundings. Fish will interact with fish. Fish will not interact with elephant. Elephant will interact with elephant, or elephant will interact with tiger. Elephant will interact with wolf, but elephant will not interact with fish. So ecosystem is specific. Whenever we use the word ecosystem, it is called as specific. UPSC ecosystem will be different, Staff Selection Commission ecosystem will be different, banking exam ecosystem will be different. So ecosystems where there will be living organisms, and each living organisms will interact with the living organisms, and they interact with the surrounding environments is called as ecosystem. Ecosystem of a film industry will be different, ecosystem of a cricket industry will be different. Where cricketers will be interacting with the cricketers, film industry, film people will be interacting with the film industry, but the film industry people will not interact with the cricket industry. So that environment, that people who are specific to the environment, we call it as what? Ecosystem. So the ecosystem word, you no need to talk only from the environment point of view. UPSC ecosystem, cinema industry ecosystem, cricket industry UPSC, or cricket industry ecosystem, or stock exchange ecosystem, where the people will be living in one environment, and the people will be interacting with each of them, and people will be interacting with, or organisms will be interacting with the environment or that particular physical surroundings is called as ecosystem. It can be both biotic and abiotic. Fish, biotic; water, abiotic. Fish having life, water, no life. So in ecosystem, there will be biotic things, there will be abiotic things. In ecosystem, there will be life, there will be no life. But in biodiversity, this difference you have to remember lifelong. In biodiversity, there will be only life. I will talk only with biotic things is called as biodiversity. In ecosystem, I will talk with biotic and abiotic. Where there is life and where there is no life, that complete surroundings, that complete environment is called as what? Ecosystem. In ecosystem, we have life, and in ecosystem, we don't have life. In biodiversity, we have only life. It includes biotic, living things. It includes abiotic, which is called as non-living things. Ante living organisms untayi, non-living organisms untayi. Non-living organisms means ante enti, water kavachu, environment kavachu, sun kavachu, air kavachu. In air, in water, soil, which doesn't have life, those are called as abiotic. Who have life are called as biotic. The interaction between the biotic and abiotic is part of ecosystem. The interaction within the biotic is part of biodiversity. Essential services. It provides essential services like nutrient cycling, oxygen cycling, forest, oceans, desert. So in ecosystem, what we will get? We will get food. In ecosystem, what we will get? How we have to survive. The survival mechanism will be in the ecosystem. It can be for animals, nutrients, plant community, habitat, moisture. This complete setup is called as what? Ecosystem. Carbon footprint. We use the term in newspaper every day. Once also we will see the term called as carbon footprint. The carbon which is emitted, because of human interference, the carbon which is released by a human interaction is called as what? Carbon footprint. Carbon footprint can be two. One is natural, other is man-made. Natural footprint is buffaloes, animals. The gas which is released by the animals is carbon gas only. Methane they will release. Cattle will release methane. So it can be, the carbon can be released by biotic, carbon can be released by abiotic. Abiotic which is releasing carbon is called as what? Factories. Abiotic thing which is releasing carbon is called as vehicles. So how much of the carbon has been released is called as footprint. ఎంత కార్బన్ రిలీజ్ చేశామో దానికి వాడేటటువంటి పదం పేరేంటి? ఫుట్ప్రింట్స్. It measures total greenhouse gas emission caused directly or indirectly by an individual, organization, event or product. It can be directly by the man or it can be indirectly by the man. It can be directly by the man, it can be indirectly by the man. So two ways of emission of carbons. One is natural, other is artificial. What is natural? Animals will be releasing the gas, yes, carbon footprint. What is artificial? Factories and yes. Emissions from fossil fuel use, agriculture, industrial process. Carbon footprints are used to understand and reduce environmental impact. Means, oh, we are releasing this much of carbon footprint if I come to know. Oh, this much of footprint has been released by electricity. This much of footprint has been released by transport. This much of footprint has been released because of improper recycling. This much of footprint has been released because of waste products. Then I will come to know I have to reduce electricity. I have to reduce transport. So to measure how much of carbon is being released, we use mechanism what? We use the term called as what? Carbon footprint. That carbon footprint can be released by two ways. One is natural way, one is artificial way. But most of the carbon is produced by artificial by the man. So hence carbon footprint we use mainly in the context of release of carbon artificially, not by man. That is the third term which is called as carbon footprint. Fourth, greenhouse gases. What are greenhouse gases? It can be because of factories, it can be because of vehicular emissions. Some gases will be released in the environment. Some gases will be released in the environment. Those gases are very much deadly in nature. Those gases are called as greenhouse gases. What this greenhouse will do? What these greenhouse gases will do? When these greenhouse gases are present in the atmosphere, generally what will happen? The radiation which is coming from the sun, that much radiations will be irradiated. So the people will be in equilibrium. The temperature will be equilibrium. How much temperature is coming down? That much temperature will be radiated from the earth. So the people will be having a equilibrium temperature which is called as thermal equilibrium. But when the greenhouse gases increase in the atmosphere, what are greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone and water vapor. These are called as greenhouse gases. ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ greenhouse gases, when these greenhouse gases are present in the atmosphere, the sun radiation which is coming down and the sun radiation which is radiated will not be going down properly, will not be going out properly, it will be trapped in between because of gases. That temperature will be trapped in the gases. That radiation will not come bottom to the earth, and the irradiation which is happening from the earth will not go to the top, to the atmosphere. It will be trapped in between because of gases which are present. These gases will trap the temperature. So what will happen? Suddenly the temperature will increase here. So we will feel high temperature, we will feel high hotness, we feel high heat, the temperature will be increased. So one of the main consequence of greenhouse gases is increase in temperature. Mean sea level temperature will be increased because of greenhouse gases trap. So carbon dioxide will be present, methane will be present, chlorofluorocarbons will be present, some element of ozone will be present, some element of nitrous oxide will be present. These all will be present in between. So sun radiation which is falling on the earth will not fall down completely. Why? Because in between the gases will trap, and when it is getting irradiated also, it will not go to the atmosphere, it will be trapped in between. So the temperature will be increased. The mean sea level temperature which is increasing is mainly because of greenhouse gases which are getting released. So మనకు డే ఆన్ డే టెంపరేచర్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అవ్వడానికి ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి కారణం ఏంటి అంటే గ్రీన్ హౌస్ గ్యాసెస్. వాట్ ఆర్ దోస్? కార్బన్ డయాక్సైడ్, మీథేన్, nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor, and ozone is also one of the factor. Ozone. This ఆరు కలగలిపితే ఏమవుతుందనంటే గ్రీన్ హౌస్ గ్యాసెస్ అని అంటాము. దిస్ గ్రీన్ హౌస్ గ్యాసెస్ మెయిన్ కాన్సిక్వెన్స్ ఈస్ వాట్? ఇట్ విల్ ట్రాప్ ద టెంపరేచర్, hence the temperature will be increased. When the temperature is increased, that phenomenon is called as so global warming is mainly because of which gases? Greenhouse gases. Global warming is mainly because of which gases? Greenhouse gases. So mean sea level temperature is increasing, average temperature is increasing, that phenomenon is called as greenhouse gases. Sustainable development. Sustainable development is a term which was been devised by Brundtland Commission in Stockholm Conference of 1972. A concept came which is called as sustainable development. ఈ సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అంటే ఏంటి? సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ మీన్స్ satisfying the needs of present generation. Simple. Satisfying the needs of present generation without compromising the needs of future generation. ఈరోజు నాకేం కావాలో అది నేను ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ తీసుకుంటాను. నేను తీసుకున్నది ఎంత ఉంటుందంటే నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ కూడా సరిపోయేంతగా నేను తీసుకుంటానన్నమాట. సో నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ వాళ్ళది నేను తీసుకోను, నాకు ఎంత అవసరమో అంతే తీసుకో. హౌ మచ్ ఈజ్ సఫిషియంట్ ఫర్ మీ ఇన్ దిస్ జనరేషన్ ఐ విల్ బి టేకింగ్, అండ్ ద నీడ్స్ ఆఫ్ ద నెక్స్ట్ జనరేషన్ విల్ నాట్ బి కాంప్రమైజ్డ్. దట్ పర్టిక్యులర్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ as సస్టైనబుల్ డెవలప్మెంట్. హూ కాయిన్డ్ దిస్ టర్మ్? Brundtland Commission. Brundtland Commission had coined this term in one of the conference called as Stockholm Conference, which held in the year 1972. Meet current human needs without compromising future generation needs. That concept is called as sustainable development. It focuses on balancing economic growth, environmental protection, social equity. Sustainable practices are vital for conserving resources. Where there will be social development, people will be happy. There will be economic development, everyone will be having food, and there will be environmental protection so that the next generation will be in the safe hands. So environmental, social and economical development together is called as sustainable development. So sustainable development means people should be treated equally, people should get education, health, everything, and there should be economic subsistence, they need to get proper food, and environment should be protected. When these three are integrated, what are the three? Social, economical and environmental. When these three are integrated, what we will have? Sustainable development. In three sectors progress is there: social, economical, environmental. That progress is called as sustainable development. So what happened? In the year 2000, United Nations organization, a arm of United Nations organization which is called as UNDP, United Nations Development Program అనే ఒక ఆర్మ్, ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ యునైటెడ్ నేషన్లో పనిచేసేటటువంటిది UNDP, had came up with a goals called as Millennium Development Goals from 2000 to 2015. So in the year 2000 we came up with 8 goals. We have to reach the 8 goals by which year? 2015. Those goals are called as Millennium Development Goals. Then in the year 2015 Millennium Development Goals became expired. Again UNDP, United Nations Development Program, in 2015 again they planned another goals which are called as Sustainable Development Goals to reach by 2030. So from 2000 to 2015 we have to reach which goals? Millennium Development Goals, time completed. Then 2015 again we devised another goal to reach by 2030. That particular target to reach by 2030 is called as what? Sustainable Development Goals. So Millennium Development Goals were been 8, అది కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది, అవసరం లేదు. Millennium Development Goals were been 8, it completed by 2015. Now we are having another goals we have to reach by 2030 which is called as Sustainable Development Goals. How many goals are there? 17 goals are there. How to remember those 17 goals? I will tell you. సర్వ సమస్యలకి మూల కారణం ఎవరు అని అంటే పేదరికం. సో గోల్ 1, రిమూవల్ ఆఫ్ పోవర్టీ. వెన్ we are poor, we will not have food, zero hunger. When we not eat properly, our health will be affected, no health issues. When we have health issues, we cannot get proper education, 100% literacy. So everything starts with what? Poverty. When we are poor, we cannot buy food, hence hungry. When we are hungry, what will be deteriorated? When we don't have food? Health. When we have health problem, what we cannot do? Studies. Fifth is what? Inequality should not be reduced. Remember 5 and 10 of. Fifth, equality should be there. There should not be any discrimination. Equality should be there. 5, madhyalo, 5. Then 6 o'clock. When we get up, what we will do? We will go for sanitation. 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. We will get up at 6 o'clock, clean water and sanitation. Then 7 o'clock, we will on the geyser, so that we will do bath, which is called as what? Electricity, proper electricity. 7 is what? Proper 8 electricity. 8 o'clock, where we will go? We will go for job. 8 o'clock, where we will go? We will go for job. See like this. First one is what? Poverty, poor. Second is what? Hunger. Third is what? Health. Fourth is what? Education. Fifth is what? Equality. Fifth and 10th half of equality. 6 o'clock, clean water and sanitation. 7 o'clock, geyser, affordable and clean energy, means renewable energy. Affordable and clean energy. 7 o'clock, we do our bath. Then 8 o'clock, where we will go? To work. 8 o'clock, where we will go? Decent work and economic growth. We went there. 9 o'clock, where our work is there? In the industry. Where our work is there? 9 o'clock, in the industry. 10, 5 is what? Reduced gender equality. 10, 5 into 2, reduced inequality. 11 o'clock, 2 lines, means what? Cities. 11 o'clock, sustainable cities, 2 lines, twin towers, sustainable cities. 12 o'clock, again hungry, responsible consumption. ఇష్టమున్నట్టు కాకుండా responsible consumption. 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, 13 means 1 p.m. only, no? 13 means 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., 13, 1 p.m. Climate change, oh, so much of hot. Climate change, 13, so much of hot. 14 means 2 o'clock, so much of hot. Arey, swimming just bound. Life below the water. 14 is life below the water. We can do swimming only for 1 hour. Anile undalem kada. So 1 hour swimming completed. Again life on land. 15, 3 o'clock, life on land. We got temperature, we went for swimming, we did swimming and we came on land. Now what we have to do? Peace, justice, strong institutions, sitting calmly. Yes, we will bring peace, we will bring justice, we will develop strong institution. For what purpose? For partnershiping, for the goals. Reaching what? Goals. In that way 17 sustainable development goals are there. First one is what? Poverty. Second one is what? Hunger. Third one is what? Health. Fourth one is what? Education. Fifth one is what? Gender equality. 5 into 2. 6 o'clock, clean water sanitation. 7 o'clock, electricity, clean electricity. 8 o'clock, job, going for work, decent job, decent work. 9 o'clock, industry, we are going to the industry. 10 o'clock, reduced inequality. 5 into 2, equality, inequality. 11 o'clock, cities, twin towers, sustainable cities. 12 o'clock, lunch, responsible consumption. 13, hot, climate action, climate change. What is this? Very hot. 14 means 2 p.m. Life below the, why? Because temperature is more, so we want to go below the water. 14, 15, 1 hour we can do. Again life on land. 15, 16. So we did swimming, simply sitting, yes. Institutions, peace, these all things we will talk. And 17 is what? Partnering. So partnering with international organizations in order to reach sustainable development goals. Partnering with other countries. ఖాళీ కూర్చున్నాం కదా, ఏం చేద్దాం, రండి మనం పార్ట్నర్షిప్ చేసుకుందాం అని చెప్పేసి అందరు రమ్మంటున్నాం. సో ఇన్ దట్ వే బై 5 o'clock sustainable development goals will be completed. Starting first one is what? Poverty. Second, hunger. Third, fourth, fifth, yes, 6, Sanitary, very good. Sanitation. What padam gurtu? Sanitation. 7. Electricity. 8. Decent work. 9 o'clock. Industry. We are going to job where the job is, in the industry. 9. 10 o'clock. Reduced inequality. 11 o'clock. Twin towers. ఎక్కడ ఉంటాయి టవర్స్? సిటీస్లో ఉంటాయి. సస్టైనబుల్. 12 o'clock. Responsible consumption. 13. Climate change. 14. 15. On the land. 16. Peace. ఖాళీ కూర్చున్నాం కదా, స్విమ్మింగ్ అయిపోయింది అంత ఆరాంగా. Peace. 17. Partnership with other countries in order to reach all the goals. These are sustainable development goals which are being given by whom? UNDP. United Nation Development Program of United Nation Organization. The 17 goals we have to reach by which time? 2030. So in this way you have to remember sustainable development goals. Easier you can remember? Deforestation. What is deforestation? Understand this. Deforestation, if I am removing the forest, it is called as deforestation. If I remove the forest, it is called as deforestation. Restoration, where the forest I removed, on the same place if I plant the forest, it is called as reforestation. If I remove the forest, it is called as deforestation. ఒక్కటి అర్థమైతే చాలు. If we remove the forest, it is called as deforestation. It is called as deforestation. Reforestation, where we remove the forest, again we plant the forest in the same place, then it is called as reforestation. Afforestation, not in the forest, in the new places if we go for afforestation. In new places if we plant the forest seeds, it is called as afforestation. Deforestation is removal of the forest. Reforestation is on the forest when we are again rebuilding the forest. Afforestation means in the new places we are building the forest, it is called as afforestation. Same forest where we are rebuilding, reforestation. New place if we are building the forest, afforestation. Process of planting trees in areas where there were previously, where there is no forest, if we are building forest in new place, it is called as afforestation. Where we went for deforestation means where we went for deforestation, the same place when we are going for forestation, it is called as reforestation. Deforestation, reforestation, afforestation. ఇవి చిన్న చిన్న పదాలు, దీని మీనింగ్స్ చాలా ఉంటాయి. మీరు రాసే ఆన్సర్లో వెన్ యు ఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఆన్సర్, యూ కెన్ నాట్ జస్ట్ యూజ్ afforestation for reforestation. Your answer will become wrong. When we apply in the society, when we apply in the economy, when we apply in the world, the complete meaning will change. Why you are converting non-forest to a forest? Already forest was been demolished, deforested, no? You make the same forest. So the land, the meanings will change. So deforestation is different, reforestation is different, afforestation is different. Every word has its meaning. Eutrophication. Eutrophication. What is eutrophication? Simple. When we use more fertilizers, more pesticides, when we use more fertilizers, more pesticides, which are synthetic, means artificial, synthetic fertilizers and synthetic pesticides. So we put on the plants, we put on the crop. So the synthetic elements will fall on the crops, the synthetic elements will fall on the soil. We have a rainfall, and the rain will fall on the trees, the rain will fall on the soil. The rainwater will mix with the synthetic. The rainwater will mix with synthetic. And this rainwater will flow. Rainwater will flow. This rainwater is pure rainwater, or the rainwater now it is mixed with synthetic? Mixed with synthetic, mixed with chemicals. Now this rainwater is flowing, going to the nearby lakes, go to the nearby rivers, go to the nearby water bodies, and that water will mix with the water body. Now what will happen? Now that water, now which entered into the lakes, the water which entered into the rivers, now this synthetic thing also will go into the water body. Now what happened? The fertilizers are there in now rivers. Now pesticides are there in lakes. In marine life, in water body, what will happen? Trees will grow. Trees will grow, life will grow. For them, who is giving energy? The river water, the rainwater which is coming with synthetics. Now this water went into the lakes. Now this water went into the rivers. And now this water is energized. Why? Because it is having what? Fertilizers. Now this water entered into the water body. And the plant seeds which are there in the water body, now it is growing. Weeds are growing mainly. What? Weeds. Unwanted trees are growing. When these unwanted trees are growing, what the unwanted trees want? Oxygen. They will take the oxygen which is present in the water body. They had grown because of synthetics which came from rainwater. Now these weeds are consuming the oxygen which is available in the water body. It can be a lake, it can be a river, it can be a pond. Then what will happen? The original life, like river water fish or lake water fish or marine water fish, this original life, the coral reef, the original life will not get enough oxygen. The oxygen is been taken by whom? Unwanted weeds, unwanted plants. So this valuable oxygen who should take? Fish or valuable trees, important plants which are there in the marine life, which are there in the river. But now this oxygen has been taken by whom? Unwanted plants, unwanted weeds. Now this oxygen is absent for whom? Fishes and water species. So now they are dying. But who are growing? Unwanted trees. Weeds are growing, which we don't want. That particular process is called as eutrophication. That particular process is called as what? Eutrophication. Whereby the marine water or the river water or the water body or the lake body is becoming more manure oriented, more synthetic oriented, more fertilize oriented, because of which weeds are growing, unwanted trees are growing, unwanted plants are growing, which are consuming the available oxygen. That oxygen is been not taken by now original water species, required water species like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, etc. etc. That particular concept is called as eutrophication. Mainly what will happen? Algal bloom, algae. That algal bloom which will be taking oxygen from the water, now they don't have oxygen. Why? Because it is eaten away by unwanted trees, unwanted plants. So what will happen to the algae? They will die. What will happen to the algal bloom? They will die. They are food for whom? Fish. Now fish is not getting oxygen, fish is not getting food also. Why? Because algal blooms are becoming died, or algae is becoming died. Why? Because that oxygen which should go for algae and algal bloom is taken by whom? Weeds. That particular concept is called as eutrophication. So this eutrophication means ekkado manamu fertilizer vaadadam valla ekkado marine life impact avutundi. So the marine life is becoming die because of the fertilizers, synthetic fertilizers which are used by the farmer. That concept is called as eutrophication. Climate change, which is a common thing. What is climate change, sir? Long-term shift in temperature, long-term shift in precipitation, long-term changes in weather patterns is called as climate change. It is primarily driven by human activities like burning fossil fuels, which increase greenhouse gases. Effect include rising sea levels, extreme weather. What is happening? Climate is changing. How the climate will change? Greenhouse gases are getting emitted. When greenhouse gases are getting emitted, the sunlight, the heat is trapped. When the heat is trapped, what will happen? The temperature will increase. When the temperature is increased, what will happen to the glaciers? They will melt. When the glaciers melt, what will happen to the sea level? The sea level increases. The people who are living on the coastal area, they will be inundated. They will be inundated. They will be submerged. So they will be losing their livelihood. So why these coastal areas are getting inundated? Mainly because of climate change which is happening. And the climate change is happening. Climate change means what? Increase in temperature, decrease in precipitation or increase in precipitation. These are happening because of what? Release of greenhouse gases. Not only release of climate change, very big word, no. It can be because of release of greenhouse gases. It can be because of pollution. It can be greenhouse. Climate change is a very big word. It can be because of any reason. Ozone layer we have where? Ozone layer where we have? Stratosphere. We have ozone layer here, stratosphere. From Earth, we have troposphere, we have stratosphere, we have mesosphere, we have thermosphere, we have exosphere. Strato, meso, thermo, exosphere. Here in the stratosphere, somewhere around 9 kilometers from the Earth, somewhere around 9 kilometers, 9,000 meters from the Earth, we have a range called as what? Stratosphere. In stratosphere, we have ozone, O3. In stratosphere, we have what? Ozone, O3. The main function of ozone, O3 is what? It will not allow the UV rays which is coming from the sun to go down. It will stop the UV rays to reach the Earth. UV rays are very dangerous. When we directly go and have a exposure to UV ray, we will suffer with leukemia, cancer, tumors will develop. Genetical abnormalities will happen, chromosomal aberrations will happen. The person will suffer with genetical diseases if UV rays fall on us directly. Thanks to ozone layer sitting on stratosphere. So this ozone layer is not allowing the UV rays to fall down. That is called as ozone layer. Ozone layer, stratosphere layer containing high ozone concentration, protecting Earth from harmful. Now that UV rays are getting impacted because of HFC, which is called as chlorofluorocarbons or hydrofluorocarbons also. Chlorofluorocarbons or hydrofluorocarbons. These both are responsible for deterioration of ozone layer. Here the ozone layer is getting deteriorated mainly because of what? Chlorofluorocarbons and ozone depletion increases UV exposure. Raising skin cancer risk, genetic, all the diseases will come. That is called as ozone layer. So that ozone layer, now there is some holes to the ozone layer. The ozone layer is getting degenerated. That ozone layer is becoming disappeared. Because of what? Chlorofluorocarbons which are being released by air conditioner, which are released by refrigerators, which release huge chlorofluorocarbons, which release huge hydrofluorocarbons. It goes and will make a hole to ozone layer. When they make a hole to ozone layer, what will happen? The UV rays will come through the holes and fall onto the Earth. So there is high chance of occurrence of cancer. Next, renewable energy. What is renewable energy? How much ever we use, it is not going to be depleted. How much ever we use, it is not going to end, is called as renewable energy. See, whenever anyone asks you what is renewable, non-renewable or such concepts, you should not directly give examples. First you should explain theory. Renewable is that thing, how much ever we use, it is not going to be depleted, it is not going to end, it is going to refurbish. It is going to refurbish. That particular concept is called as what? Renewable. And we have renewable energy. Energy which is produced by these renewable sources are called as renewable energy. What are those, sir? Solar. What are those, sir? Wind. What are those, sir? Geothermal. What are those, sir? Tide. What are those, sir? Hydro. Water. Solar energy, hydro energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, ఇంకా wind energy and hydro energy. These all are renewable energy. Unlike fossil fuels, renewable energy have no impact on climate. They reduce greenhouse effects. It is essential for sustainable development, sustainable energy. Renewable energy adoption helps combat climate change. It can be hydro, it can be solar, it can be geothermal, it can be tidal, it can be wind, it can be biofuels. These all are what? Renewable energies. Biosphere. What is biosphere? Biosphere encompasses all ecosystems and living organisms on earth. All living organisms on earth will encompass one particular system which is called as biosphere, including their interactions with atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. Biodiversity means only living organisms together. Biosphere means living organisms interacting with atmosphere, troposphere, stratosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. That complete structure is called as biosphere. Living organisms, their interaction with atmosphere. Living organisms, their interaction with water, hydrosphere. Living organisms, their interaction with stratosphere, if any. Living organisms, their interaction with thermosphere, if any. Living organisms, their interaction with exosphere, if any. ఆ లేయర్స్తో ఎప్పుడైతే ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతామో, ఆ అట్మాస్ఫియర్తో ఎప్పుడైతే లివింగ్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ఇంటరాక్ట్ అవుతాయో దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటామో బయోస్ఫియర్ అని అంటాము. ఓన్లీ లివింగ్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అన్ని కలిపితే ఏమంటాం మనం? అది యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ద డిఫరెన్సెస్, దెన్ యూ విల్ డెవలప్ క్లారిటీ. Clarity is very important. For example, if your history teacher talks about Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar, then you have to understand the difference between both. దానికి ఏంటి డిఫరెన్స్, దీనికి ఏంటి డిఫరెన్స్, అప్పుడు క్లారిటీ డెవలప్ అవుతుంది అనమాట మనకి. ఇంతకుముందే నవ్ ఓన్లీ వీ సా బయోడైవర్సిటీ, నవ్ వీఆర్ సీయింగ్ బయోస్పియర్. బోత్ ఆర్ సీమ్స్ టు బి సిమిలర్, బట్ హ్యూజ్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఈస్ దేర్. ఆల్ ద బయోలాజికల్ బీయింగ్స్ ఆర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ biodiversity. All the biological beings in interaction with atmosphere, in interaction with thermosphere, in interaction with layers is called as biosphere. Acid rain, nitrous oxide, sulfur oxide. These both are mainly responsible. UPSC, all questions will be basic only. Today I am going to discuss 50 terminologies. In the 50 terminologies, 2 questions will come. Acid rains, PYQ, UPSC Prelims. Acid rains are mainly because of 2 chemicals, nitrous oxides, sulfur oxides. NOx, SOx are responsible for acid rains. What are these acid rains? The rain water, you know that pH value 1 to no complete range 14. 1 to 14 is the pH range. 7 is neutral. 7 to below is called as acidic. 7 to 14 is called as basic. Basic is good for our body, for everyone. 1 to 14, 7 is neutral. 7 to 1 is called as acidic. pH value reducing, we are becoming acidic. pH value increasing, we are becoming non-acidic, basic, which is good. Acidic rains, whereby the rain, the precipitation, the water vapor which is there in the atmosphere in the form of water vapor, it is having the pH value less than 2. The rainwater in the form of water vapor which is present in the atmosphere is having the pH value less than 2. If that precipitates, it is called as acid rains. Lower than normal pH caused by sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere, that is called as acid rain. It results from burning fossil fuels and affects soil, water bodies, vegetation. Acid rain damages ecosystem, corroding buildings, harming aquatic life, reducing emissions, help mitigate acid rain. Now, current affair. This acid rain is responsible for reducing the shine of Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal shine is getting reduced mainly because of frequent acid rains. So the World Heritage Site, a historical marvel, is impacted because of acid rain. And the rainwater which is coming from the atmosphere, if the pH value is less than 7, mainly below 2, then the rain is called as acid rain. And this acid rain will corrode the buildings. This acid rain obviously will impact the soil, will impact the human beings also. Acid, the పేరులోనే ఉంది acid. It will impact the human beings. So it is mainly because of what? SOx plus NOx. Sulfur oxides, not sulfur dioxide. Sulfur oxides plus nitrous oxides are responsible for acid rains. Sulfur oxides, nitrous oxides are responsible. It is coming down, so trees are killed, hence it's going up, mixing with the water and falling in the form of acid rain. Sulfuric acid, ఏం పడుతుంది? Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. How? The nitrous oxide are going up, sulfur oxides are going up, they are mixing with the water and resulting in the form of H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Desertification. What is desertification? It can be because of improper precipitation. Precipitation means rainfall. It can be because of improper precipitation. It can be because of increase in temperature. It can be because of drought conditions. It can be because of continuous famine conditions, where the soil is becoming dried up and the barren lands are increasing. That particular phenomenon whereby the wet soil is becoming dry soil and the wetlands are becoming deserts is called as desertification. Now India is facing this problem, desertification. We have already deserts. Now our wetlands are becoming deserts. The big challenge which India is facing today is what? Desertification. Desertification is a process by which fertile land becomes desert, typically due to deforestation, overgrazing or climate change. It leads to soil degradation, reducing agricultural productivity and water availability, affected even common problems. When the wetland is becoming dried up, it is becoming desert. It is called as desertification. Mainly it is happening in Vidarbha region, means Nagpur region of Maharashtra, some parts of Telangana region, some parts of Gujarat, major parts of Rajasthan, major parts of Odisha and Jharkhand are also becoming desertification. They are becoming deserts because of no proper precipitation, because of absence of rainfall, because of no proper irrigation facilities, because of no proper agriculture. The wetlands are becoming deserts. The India is facing a biggest challenge which is called as desertification. Carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration. What is this? Carbon sequestration is a technology, is a technological process whereby we capture, we store carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, so that the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will be reduced. A technology whereby the carbon available in the atmosphere is being captured and stored, so that the temperature will not increase, so that greenhouse gases will not increase, so that mean level temperature will not increase, so that it don't result in acid rains. It is called as carbon sequestration. So what we will do, sir? We will create big chambers under the earth. A closed chambers we will create. We will take the carbon dioxide, we will sequester, and we will pump into that particular chambers, tanks with pressure, and that carbon will be stored, so that this excessive carbon will not be present in the atmosphere. That particular process is called as carbon sequestration. It's a technology. Artificially, we are going to control the amount of carbon present in the atmosphere. If not, naturally available carbon sequestration centers are what? Forests. What is the input to the forest trees? Carbon. It will take the carbon, it will release what? Oxygen. The natural carbon sequestration centers are there by the name called as carbon sink. They are called as what? Carbon sink. What are carbon sinks? Oceans are carbon sinks. What are carbon sinks? Forests are carbon sinks. But no forest today. So carbon is not getting captured. So what we are doing? We are making artificial chambers, and we are taking by technology and putting inside the earth. Where we do? Dubai. Where we do? Abu Dhabi. Where we do? Kuwait. Whether we have forest there? No. Then what about the pollution which is releasing complete carbon is there? No. How they live? Every room, including kitchen also, they will have AC. If not, they cannot stand. That much of hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons, carbon is there. Carbon dioxide released from emissions of the vehicle are being captured and put inside the chambers. It is called as carbon sequestration. Generally occurs in forest, generally occurs in oceans, sometimes in soil also. Can also be achieved through technology. Sequestration helps mitigate climate change by reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. Effective sequestration is crucial for achieving climate. When we don't have forest, when ocean water is reducing or the ocean is incapable, when the soil is deteriorating, then how, sir? Then we are coming up with this technology. That is called as carbon sequestration. Biodegradables. What are biodegradables? Decompose naturally through microbial process. Don't tell me example, first tell it theoretically. Biodegradables are those materials which decompose naturally. Biodegradables are those things which decompose naturally. Those things are called as biodegradables. They decompose naturally without any artificial interface. That natural objects are getting decomposed, those are called as biodegradables. For example, it can be meat, it can be biological things which are coming out from the house, like onion, vegetable cuts. These are all called as what? Biodegradables. Examples: paper, food waste, certain plastics. Biodegradable products help reduce waste pollution. Proper disposable and waste management are essential for supporting biodegradation. So biodegradables, these are called as biodegradables. Composting. Composting is the process of breaking down of organic compounds. Composting is the process of breaking down of organic compounds is called as composting. Like what? Snails, like what? Earthworms. So they break down what? Organic material. That particular mechanism is called as what? Composting. Break down organic waste into nutrient rich soil known as compost. It is natural recycling method that reduces landfill waste and enhances soil health. వాటిని మనం ఏమంటాము? Composting. Snails are the best example. Earthworms are the best examples where we use the living beings to break down the biological waste. Not non-biological. What? Biological waste. Like kitchen waste. That there this composting will happen so that it will be breaking into pieces and producing what? Nutrients. Those will be useful as a very good manure for natural manure for soil. That particular mechanism is called as composting. Ante whenever I use composting word in the future, means whenever the subject teacher talks about composting, you have to remember that one organism will come and that organism will eat this waste and this waste will be converted into nutrients. That particular process is called as composting. అది ఏదైనా సరే ఇది ఒక్కదని ఎక్కడైనా కూడా కంపోస్టింగ్ అనే వర్డ్ వాడాము అని అంటే దేర్ ఈస్ సమ్ బయోడిగ్రేడబుల్స్ ఆర్ దేర్. ఆన్ దిస్ బయోడిగ్రేడబుల్స్ దిస్ మైక్రో ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ ఆర్ the living organisms will come and consume it and break down into pieces and make it in the form of nutrient is called as composting. Biodegradables are those whereby these are made from the biological things which will be degraded without harming environment are called as biodegradables. Which will not stay in the environment, which they decays into the environment are called as biodegradables. Non-biodegradables means which will not decay, which will not be destroyed, which will stay permanently. Those are called as non-biodegradables. Like plastic, 0.5 mm less, microplastics, which are less than 0.5 millimeters. Those plastics are very dangerous. It cannot be degraded or decomposed or decayed. Microplastics, 5 mm less than, this size number is important, less than 5 mm in size, those are called as microplastics. They result from plastic wave degradation and enter ecosystem through water runoff and waste disposal. Microplastics pose health risk to wildlife and human. Reducing plastic usage is critical to combating microplastic pollution. Now big pollution which we are facing is plastic pollution. In that plastic pollution, which pollution we are facing? Microplastic pollution. What is microplastic pollution? Remember, if it is the plastic is less than 5 mm, it is called as microplastic. So what are all the terms we discussed up to now? First one, biodiversity. Second one, ecosystem. Third one, biosphere. Next, sustainable development. Next, sustainable development goals. Next, greenhouse gases. Next, carbon footprint, carbon sequestration. Next, deforestation, afforestation, reforestation. Next, climate change. Next, ecosystem. Next, biodegradable. Next, renewable energy. Next, composting. Next, eutrophication. Next, climate change. Next, acid rains. Next, ozone layer. Next, renewable energy. Next, greenhouse gases. Next, desertification. Next, ఇవే పదాలు రిపీట్ అవుతాయి మీకు ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ సబ్జెక్ట్లో. సో మైక్రో ప్లాస్టిక్స్, green infrastructure. Nowadays what we are advocating for? We are advocating for green infrastructure. What is green infrastructure? Microplastic? Habitat fragmentation. Habitats fragmentation. The habitats will be fragmented. Like if you see the diagram here, habitats will be fragmented. Is the division of natural habitats into smaller isolated patches, often due to human activities. Habitat fragmentation. What we will do? National park, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserve, coastal area, so that the coastal area will be used for fishing or fishing communities. National park, human interference is not allowed, so that the wildlife will be protected. Tiger reserve, only tigers will be there. Elephant reserve, only elephant should be there. Wildlife sanctuary, where the elephants are being allowed. Wildlife sanctuary, where the wildlife is allowed with human interference. So like that, what we do? We habitat, we fragment, so that we will protect whom? The species. మన దగ్గర టైగర్ రిజర్వ్స్ ఉన్నాయా? దేన్ని ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయడం కోసం? టైగర్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద టైగర్ రిజర్వ్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ ఏ హ్యాబిటేషన్ ఫర్ హూమ్? ఎలిఫెంట్ రిజర్వ్. ఏ హ్యాబిటేషన్ అంటే ఎక్కడ ఉండడము, ఎక్కడ మనం బతుకుతామో, ఎక్కడ మనం ఉంటామో దాన్ని ఏమంటాం మనం? హ్యాబిటేషన్. ఎలిఫెంట్ రిజర్వ్ ఫర్ హూమ్? ఎలిఫెంట్స్. రినోసిరస్ రిజర్వ్ ఫర్ హూమ్? వన్ హార్న్ రినోసిరస్ ఇన్ అస్సాం ఫర్ హూమ్? రినోసిరస్. Coastal life for whom? So we are dividing the complete biodiversity into habitations, into fragment. This fragment is for this, this fragment is for this, this fragment is for this, so that what will happen? Exploitation will not happen. So that what will happen? They will be protected. That particular concept is called as what? Habitat protection. Examples are national park, tiger reserve, elephant reserve, rhino reserve, more wildlife sanctuary. It disrupts species movement, breeding and resource access, threatening biodiversity. Fragmentation increases species vulnerability to extinction. Fragmentation increases species vulnerability to extinction. Conservation, and if we don't do habitat fragmentation, then people will come, consume them, eat them. If you don't give them habitat, if you don't give them proper area, there is a chance that that particular species might become extinct. Then we understood microplastics. Green infrastructure. What is green infrastructure? We have now vertical plantations. In Japan they follow. Japan cities are very, very small cities. Population is huge. Why? Because everywhere nuclear radiations are there. Everywhere there is chance of tsunami. Only two places are safe: Tokyo, Kyoto. Only in Tokyo 2 crore people will live, only in one city. If anyone want to construct a house, if they want permission, they should construct only verticals, apartments. And to give permission, compulsory they should also have vertical plantation. House, agriculture field, next floor, house, agriculture field, next floor, house, agriculture field, next floor, house, agriculture field. How we have balcony? They will have agriculture field, so that they will be doing agriculture and they will be staying together. That particular infrastructures are called as what? Green infrastructure. If we have solar energy plantation, it is called as what? Green infrastructure. If we produce wind turbines, for what purpose we are doing wind turbines? For electricity production. Whether that electricity is producing any pollution? No. Hence it is called as what? Green infrastructure. It can be the solar energy, it can be the wind energy, it can be the biofuels energy, it can be the verticals where plantation is happening, where we are producing more forest, where we are motivating for having bridges. Beside the bridges, forests we are developing, highways, in middle trees are there, that side, this side we are keeping plantations. That particular infrastructures are called as green infrastructures. That is also in the news. That will be an answer. Anthropocene. కరెంట్ అఫైర్ దిస్ ఇస్ రీసెంట్గా ఇది పదం బాగా వైరల్ అవుతుంది. ఆంథ్రోపోసినీ. The Anthropocene is a proposed geological epoch. How we have Miocene, Pliocene, Paleocene, Eocene అనే కొన్ని టైం పీరియడ్స్ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట మన హిస్టరీలో. అవి తర్వాత చూద్దాము. In our geological stratas, in our timeline, there are some stages. Like from today to 1.5 million years ago, it is called as Pliocene. From 1.5 million years ago, it is called as Pleistocene. From 1.5 to 2, it is Pleistocene. From 2 to 3, it is called as Miocene. Ala konni stratas, there will be some stratas. Now another strata, another time is going to come, which is called as Anthropocene epoch. C is silent. Not epoch, epoch. C is silent. What is this? The time period because of human being and human being interface. What are all the changes we are seeing from this time to this time? That particular time period is called as Anthropocene epoch. Today, whether we can see the world because of interference by the man, today what is happening outside, whether there is any interference by the man, yes, it can be the pollution, it can be acid rain, it can be ozone layer depletion. These are all because of what? Man. So, మ్యాన్ చేసిన మార్పుల వల్ల ఏ టైం నుంచి ఏ టైం వరకు వాతావరణం మారింది, ఏ టైం నుంచి ఏ టైం వరకు ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ మారింది, ఆ పర్టికులర్ టైం లైన్ని ఏమంటాం మనం? ఆంథ్రోపోసినీ ఎపాక్. చేంజెస్ ఇంక్లూడ్ ఆల్టర్డ్ క్లైమేట్, biodiversity loss, resource depletion. The term highlights human influence on natural system. So Anthropocene epoch is that particular timeline where because of human interference, what are all the impacts we are seeing on natural systems, that particular time period is called as Anthropocene. Whenever the Hitler was present in Germany, and whenever he ruled, from what time to what time he ruled the Germany, it is called as Hitler regime. ఆ టైమ్ లైన్ హిట్లర్ ఎప్పుడైతే ఆ జర్మనీ రూల్ చేశాడో దాన్ని ఏమంటాం మనం? Hitler regime. How we call it as Hitler regime? Similarly, because of the things, because of man interference, what are all the things which had happened to the natural systems is called as Anthropocene epoch. Before Anthropocene epoch, it was what? Natural systems. From Anthropocene epoch, what got impacted? Because of what? Natural systems got impacted because of man. So a new epoch was being created. The impact which we observed in the natural systems because of man is called as Anthropocene epoch. So tell me, if we want to have a happy life, if we want to have a sustainable development, if we want to have a pollution-free world, whether we have to shift from Anthropocene epoch to natural epoch, or we have to be in Anthropocene epoch? Conclusion lo vaadtam anamata. So now we should not be in the Anthropocene epoch. There is a need to shift from Anthropocene epoch to pollution. Is the contamination of air, water, soil by harmful substances affecting health and ecosystems, sources like industrial emissions, plastic waste, chemicals. The pollution disrupts ecosystem, contributing to climate change and biodiversity loss. Reducing pollution requires regulatory action and sustainable practices. It can be air pollution, it can be water pollution, it can be plastic pollution, it can be marine pollution, it can be waste pollution, it can be electronic waste pollution. So many pollutions. So in your future, you will be coming across pollution. Different varieties of pollutions are there. Municipal waste is there. It is also pollution only, no? Municipal waste, medical waste pollution, electronic waste pollution, hazardous waste pollution, nuclear waste pollution, air pollution, nuclear waste. What happened, I will tell you, see. Baba Atomic Research Center was established in the year 1962. Okay? In Trombay, very near to Mumbai. And they established this Baba Atomic Research Center in the center of the Arabian Sea, very near to the harbor of Mumbai port. On that island, they are enriching uranium to produce nuclear energy. For any product, when we are enriching, whether waste will be produced or not. For metabolism, waste will produce. For anything, when we are enriching, what will be the byproduct? Waste. What is the waste here in Baba Atomic Research Center? Nuclear waste is coming out. 1965, 1970, we don't have that much of knowledge. The waste which is being generated by this particular Baba Atomic Research Center, they don't have that much of awareness. They started throwing like dustbin in the ocean water, in the ocean, they started throwing. Slowly, slowly what happened? The people who are living on the coastal area, they started having genetical abnormalities. These many days you people are good, why happened suddenly? You are healthy these many days, suddenly what happened? You are feeling so much ill, tumors are coming upon your skin. Everyone is suffering. Mainly the people who are living on the coast. Then the government had asked for the inquiry. Scientific inquiry was being constituted. And they studied those people who are suffering and they found that it is because of nuclear radiation. Nuclear radiation? From where it is coming? The nuclear waste which was being released from manufacturing company, nuclear reactor company, BARC, Baba Atomic Research Center. Oh, the nuclear reactor waste is also so much important. From then onwards, we started controlling, regulating nuclear waste. That pollution antam kada danni manam. These many varieties of pollutions are there. What can be those? Municipal solid waste pollution, medical waste, nuclear waste, e-waste, electronic waste, hazardous waste, air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, more hazardous waste, that is. So these are different varieties of waste which are nothing but pollution. Ecotourism. Yes. Tourism is good, but tourism is destroying the environment. They are throwing plastic, they are deforesting, they are teasing animals. So animals are becoming aggressive, animals are fighting on the man, and the people are coming and killing the animal. These are what? Unhealthy tourism practices. Because of which, who is getting impacted? Environment. Environment means not only trees, plants and forest, animals also, wildlife are also part of environment. So we had a solution that we have to protect the environment and we should also increase our tourism so that our economy will be boosted. Hence, we have an idea called as ecotourism, where the tourism will be healthy, and will be protecting the environment. That type of tourism is called as what? Ecotourism. Environmentally responsible travel to natural areas by not throwing plastic. Supporting conservation and benefiting local community who are living there in the local communities, helping them, supporting them, working with them, protecting the environment, saving the environment, enjoying the aesthetic feeling, enjoying the aesthetic nature. That particular tourism is called as ecotourism. It educates visitors on sustainable practices and local ecosystems. Ecotourism minimizes environmental impact and helps fund conservation efforts. Properly managed ecotourism fosters sustainable tourism and biodiversity protection. Biomagnification. What is this? I will tell you. See, biomagnification. If you see here, a ship is moving on the ocean and the ship had an accident and fallen down. In that ship, huge reserves of oil is there. So now this oil fallen onto the ocean. The innocent fish doesn't know about that, which is called as oil. And the fish came and ate this oil. And this oil entered into the stomach of fish. Small fish is eaten by a big fish. All the small fishes were being eaten by big fish. Now that oil is entered into the big fish. According to the size, that much oil is there in the big fish. And now this big fish was being fished by man. And this man ate this fish. And the oil which is present in the big fish entered into the human being. That particular process of movement of pollution, movement of hazardous material from one species to another species by increasing its quantity is called as biomagnification. Microplastics is eaten by the fish. Fish was being eaten by man. So that microplastic is entering into us also. This is a classic example. Just example. Muslims will be consuming beef, cattle. Cattle are eating what? Plastics. If you see cattle who are roaming outside, mainly which type of cattle they will kill to consume? Drought cattle. Drought cattle means which will not give milk. Unmilked cows they will be killing, which are called as drought cattle. When it is not giving me milk, whether I will care about it, then they left into the roads. When they are moving on the roads, what they are eating from the dustbins? For hungry, plastics. And these plastics were being entering into the stomach of cows, buffaloes. And the slaughterhouse are making beef out of it. And the beef is eaten by the man. The man is suffering with plastic pollution. So that plastic pollution which is entered into the cattle now is in the human being. That process of increase in pollution stage by stage is called as biomagnification. Is a process by which toxic substances accumulate stage on stage and become more concentrate up the food chain. Is called as biomagnification. Ecological footprint. The environmental impact of human activities is called as ecological footprint. Calculated as amount of land and water resources needed to sustain them. It considers resource consumption and waste production. A lower footprint indicates sustainable living. Reducing footprints helps conserve resource something. Ecological footprint. Ecology should be more. Ecological footprint should be more. Carbon footprint should be less or more? Less. Ecological footprint should be less or more? More. What is ecological footprint? More nature, more trees, more animals, more forests, more sustainable development. When ecology is more, it is called as ecological footprint. When the carbon content is more, it is called as carbon footprint. For sustainable development, ecological footprint should be more, carbon footprint should be less. That particular concept is called as what? Ecological footprint. In your answer now itself, ఇలాంటి పదాలు మీ ఆన్సర్లో ఉండే విధంగా ఇప్పటి నుంచే మీరు జాగ్రత్త పడ్డారు అని అంటే యువర్ ఆన్సర్ విల్ బికమ్ ఏ టెక్నికల్ ఆన్సర్. ఇవి చిన్న చిన్న పదాలే. ఇవి ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అన్నమాట. This terminology is called as what? Environment language, which is called a jargon. Green economy. Aims for sustainable economic growth with minimal environmental impact. We have to strive for what? Green infrastructure. We have to strive for what? Green economy. Whereby the economy will be boosted without much impact on environment. The impact on environment will be minimal. That particular economy is called as what? Green economy. Like what? Renewable energy. If I produce more electricity, economy will be grow. But that electricity should be produced by renewable energy. That type of economy is called as what? Green economy. So that economy will be boosted without compromising environment. Environmental impact will be less, economy will be more. That concept is called as green economy. Carbon neutrality is here. Carbon dioxide is producing, carbon dioxide is reducing. Hence we need to be what? Neutral. Net carbon footprint should be 0. So industrialization is not wrong. Having more industries is not a problem. Having more vehicles is not problem. Having more vehicular emissions are not problem. But parallelly there should be what? Carbon sequestration. Parallelly there should be what? Carbon sink. Trees should be there, plants should be there, forestation should be there, animals should be there, plants should be there. Hence there should be what? Carbon neutrality. How much emission is happening? That much capture should be there. How much emission is happening, that much capture should be there. Carbon emission should be equal to carbon capture. That is called as carbon neutrality. Technically, if the carbon emissions and the carbon captures are equal, then condition is called as net neutrality, carbon neutrality. Achieving a balance between emitting carbon and absorbing it from the atmosphere in carbon sinks is called as carbon neutrality. Conservation biology. Focus on protecting biodiversity and restoring ecosystem. It combines science and ethics to prevent species extinction and habitat loss. Conservation biology. We have to conserve the biology by using technology, by using forests, by using ethics, by using law, whatever it may be. If you conserve the biology, that particular mechanism is called as what? Conservation biology. So today we don't want the biology, we want the biology which is conservating the species, hence the biology name is called as what? Conservation biology. What does the conservation biology do? Conservation biology work on endangered species, recovery and ecosystem preservation. This field is essential for sustaining biodiversity and ecological health. So today we have to work for sustainable development. Today we have to work for ecological restoration. Today we have to work for protecting the endangered species. Today we have to work for reduction of pollution. This all can happen only by what biology? Conservation biology. Conclusion rastam environment question kaina. Hence there is a need for the conservation biology in order to protect the species and to protect the environment. Sustainable agriculture practices, natural farming, organic farming, not using synthetic fertilizers, not using synthetic pesticides, using natural fertilizers, using natural pesticides. That particular form of doing agriculture is called as what? Sustainable agriculture. Water should not be overused. There is need for drip irrigation. When we are using water drop by drop, targeted, it is called as what? Drip irrigation. If you go for drip irrigation, then what type of agriculture we are doing? Sustainable agriculture. No synthetic fertilizer, no synthetic pesticides, natural fertilizers, natural pesticides, irrigation which is micro irrigation. That type of agriculture is called as sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agricultural practices aim to meet food demands while preserving natural resources and ecosystems. Methods include crop rotation. Now we have maize, next we will have paddy, next we will have wheat. So what will happen? The soil will be enriched. Organic farming. We will not use synthetic pesticides, synthetic fertilizers. This type of agriculture is called as what? Sustainable agriculture. Hydrosphere, water. The complete water is called as what? Hydrosphere. Oceans, rivers, lakes, ponds, water bodies comes under what? Hydrosphere. All water on earth, oceans, rivers, lakes, glaciers, It interacts with atmosphere, biosphere, geosphere, influencing climate and water. The hydrosphere play a crucial role in water cycles, carbon storage and supporting life. So everything which is related to water is called as what? Hydrosphere. Glaciers, water vapor, rain, snow, surface water, groundwater, oceans, drinking water, all the water related. Groundwater also comes under bioremediation. What is bioremediation? Listen carefully. Pollution has been increased. Pollution has been increased. For example, oil spill happened. Oil fallen on the ocean. Complete ocean water became what? Polluted. Bioremediation is the process whereby I will be reducing the pollution by using microorganisms. Bioremediation is the process whereby I will be reducing the pollution by using microorganisms is called as bioremediation. For example, there is a microorganism bacteria called as oil zapper. There is a microorganism bacteria called as oil zapper. What we will do, wherever the oil spills happen, that is common anamata. Oceans, like accidents happen on the road, the same way accidents happens in the ships also. When the accident happened, the ship will fall down. And 80% of the ships are not passengers, cargo. So when they fall, and most of the cargo is what? Oil. And when oil falls, the complete nearby ocean will become polluted. There they will release this microorganism called as oil zapper bacteria. This oil zapper will eat oil. Then food oil anamata. So it will eat food. What is the food for it? Oil. So it will break that oil into pieces and convert into nutrient and release in the form of waste. So that oil is break down and converted in the form of nutrient and pumped in the form of waste. And this complete oil zapper will eat a complete oil. Within 6 days there will be no oil pollution only. The complete oil will be eaten away by oil zapper. That particular phenomenon is called as bioremediation. Wherever there is pollution, we are trying for this nowadays. We are planning to manufacture a bacteria which will eat the plastic. So we will put complete plastic in one room and we will throw the microorganisms. After 2 days, there will be no plastic. Why? Because it is eaten by finish, biodegraded. That particular mechanism is called as bioremediation. Urban heatland. What is urban heatland? We will be seeing. Online clear? Urban heatland. See, in summer season, when we go near the traffic and we stand, suddenly huge temperature will be there around us. Huge temperature. Everywhere there will be normal temperature, but surrounding the vehicle there will be huge temperature. That particular, a island type of environment will be created, a highland type of high temperature will be created in May month in the traffic signals. That particular island is called as what? Urban heat islands. The urban effects occur when urban areas are significantly warmer than surrounding areas. It is called as what? Coral bleaching. Coral is a species in the ocean. These corals will be living with algae. దీని మీద algal blooms ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. algae. We call it as algae. And the coral and algae will be in symbiotic relationship. Algae will be giving the food to the coral. Coral will be giving the food to the algae. If this coral reefs, మన భాషలో చెప్పాలంటే పాకురు. If corals need to be more active, what should present on coral? algae. More the algae, more the coral. More the coral, more the algae. But because of eutrophication, the algae is not getting sufficient oxygen, the algae is dying. When algae is dying, who will not get the food? Coral. So coral will die, that is called as coral bleaching. The biggest biodiversity is in the ocean, that too in the coral reefs. If you open National Geography channel, you will see beautiful, beautiful marine life. And one of the most beautiful marine life is what? Corals. When corals lose their symbiotic algae, coral bleaching happens when coral lose their symbiotic algae, turning white. Now this red color became what? White. It should be in red color, it should be colorful, but now became white. Why? Because it lost what? Algae. Now eventually it will lose this also. Why? Because it don't get food. Turning white due to stress factors like temperature. Without algae, corals struggle to survive, impacting marine life. Most of the fishes will depend on this coral. Now fish also will not get food. So fish also will die. Then big animals in the marine life, they will depend on fish. Now they will die. So if coral reefs are impacted, complete marine life is going to be impacted, and the coral life is dependent upon algae. Hence algae should be protected, but this algae is not protected because of eutrophication. Coral bleaching is often linked to climate change. Efforts to protect coral reefs focus on reducing greenhouse gases emissions. It can be because of greenhouse gases emission. Acid rains, when hot water fall down, acid rains falls in the ocean also, it will directly go and impact algae. Aquifers, wherever the water is present, those we will call it as what? Aquifers. It can be surface water, it can be underground water, it can be ocean, it can be river water, it can be lake water, it can be underground water. This all together is called as what? Aquifers. Wherever the water is there, beneath the earth also called as aquifer, above the earth is also called as aquifer, under the earth is also called as aquifers. We are going for boring. If water is there, we tell that there is aquifer. Like this. On the earth is an underground layer of water bearing rock or sediment that stores water, but mainly aquifer is a water layer beneath the earth. This term will be exclusively used when the water we search which is beneath the earth, at that time it is called as what? Aquifer. Understand this. Carbon trading, cap and trade, carbon trading. Everyday newspaper, it will be there, carbon trading. Listen, nowadays to get a license to run a manufacturing industry, in that license copy they will mention that you will be allowed to produce 10 million tons of carbon yearly. Yearly, you will be allowed to release 10 million tons of carbon emissions. If yes, then keep signature, I will give license. That is also one condition today to reduce air pollution for every company. Sometimes what will happen? Some companies will produce only 8 million tons, but they are allowed to emit up to how much? 10 million tons. How much it saved? 2 million tons. So saving of carbon emissions should be a motivation. So what they will do? You people can trade man. Means what? You are allowed to produce how much? Emit how much? 10 million tons. But you produced 8 millions. This man produced 8 millions. That man produced 12 million tons. How much you emitted more? 2 million. How much you produce less? 2 million. Then this both can come to an agreement. This 2 million tons I will transfer to you. Give me 2 lakhs. Give me 4 lakhs. So this 2 million tons will come in whose account? This company's account. Now how much now this company emitted? 8 plus 2 balanced. 12 minus 2. balanced. So no penalty on that. And they also got motivated. Next year what will happen? He will think that I got 4 lakhs rupees. Next year I will emit only 6 million tons. This person will buy 2 million tons, another person will buy 2 million tons. I will get 4 lakhs, how many? 8 lakhs. In the process of gaining money, there is a chance of reduction of carbon emissions. That particular concept is called as carbon trading. If someone produces more also, no harm to the environment, by someone is producing less. Hence, this more will be given to here, hence there will be carbon neutrality. That concept is called as carbon trading, which is also called as cap and trade. Cap, control J, trade J. Control J, trade J. Cap ante control. Biomass energy. Biomass energy generated from organic materials like plants, wood, agriculture waste. It provides renewable energy that helps reduce reliance on fossil fuels. It can be through crops, it can be through wood, it can be through by animal meat, it can be the sewage, it can be the trash, garbage, kitchen garbage, it can be vegetable oils. This complete is called as what? Biomass. Through this biomass, if I produce electricity, it is called as what? Biomass energy. Marine pollution, chemicals, plastics, waste which are going inside the oceans are called as marine pollutions. Marine pollution, industrial runoff, plastic debris, oil spills. Reducing marine pollution is a key to preserving ocean. Trophic levels, food habits are the hierarchical levels in an ecosystem. Food chains from primary producers to apex predators. If you see here, soil will be eaten by whom? Plants. Plants will be eaten by whom? Rabbits. Some herbivores will be eaten, rabbits will be eaten by whom? Primary predators like snakes. And primary predators will be eaten by whom? Secondary predators. This food chain is called as trophic levels. In the soil, what will be decayed? Microorganisms will be decayed. Decayed detrivorous, snails. So, autotrophs, plants who produce food by themselves. Heterotrophs who depend on other are called as heterotrophs. This starting from soil to the secondary predator, human being, this complete chain of food is called as what? Trophic levels. Satvika is telling the sad part is even the coral reefs also facing hormonal imbalance along with females. Yes. Carbon sink. Ocean is a carbon sink. Natural or artificial reservoir that absorbs more carbon it releases like forest, ocean, soils, where naturally the carbon is been trapped. Naturally where the carbon is been captured are called as carbon sinks. Carbon source, where the carbon is been produced, where the carbon is been emitted, vehicular emissions, factories, thermal power corporations, those are called as what? Carbon source. Forest, oceans, soils are called as what? Carbon sinks. Circular economy. Manufacturing. So, it's a circular economy. I produced a good and that good had a byproduct, waste. That waste I recycled. Again I used. So, hence I am entering into what cycle? Circular economy. A circular economy promotes the reuse, recycling, regeneration of resources to minimize waste. It contrasts with linear take more, disposal model. Disposal, decay, reuse, reproduce. That complete cycle is called as what? Circular economy. Environmental impact assessment. Whatever the industries are there, how these industries are going to impact that particular procedure is called as what? Environmental impact assessment. Whether that company is transparent, whether that company is producing carbon certainly or not, whether the local people are participating or not, whether that is practicable or not. So for every industry, when we are going to give permission, according to Environment Protection Act of 1986, there will be environment impact assessment. Because of this industry, how much environment is going to be impacted, that particular assessment is called as ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఇంపాక్ట్ అసెస్మెంట్. ఏ కంపెనీకైనా కూడా వాళ్ళు లైసెన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి అని అంటే ఏం చూస్తున్నారు? ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఇంపాక్ట్ అసెస్మెంట్. ఫ్రమ్ వెన్ ఇట్ స్టార్టెడ్, ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ యాక్ట్ 1986 told it is compulsory to check if we want to give license for any industry. Means how much environment is going to be impacted if this company is established. That particular phenomenon is called as what? Environment impact assessment. Natural capital. Natural capital refers to natural resource and ecosystem that provide goods and services, forest, minerals, clean water. It underpins economic and social being, everything. Whatever is plants and trees, plants, fish, this all together is called as what? Natural capital. Adaptive management is a strategy that allows for flexibility and learning in environmental management. See, if we want to protect the environment, we need to have environmental management. When we want to have environmental management, whether we have to adapt to the environment or environment should adapt to us, that is called as adaptive management. We have to adapt to the forest, we have to adapt to the atmosphere, we have to adapt to the water resources, we have to adapt to the forest. That is required to have a proper environment. To have proper environment, what is the management we need to have? Adaptive management. If we want to have a proper life, if we want to have a proper friends, if we want to have a peaceful life, what management we should have? Adaptive management. Accepting, adaptive management, adaptation. Oh, what my friend kada? Adaptive management. It can be environment, it can be life. What is the beautiful thing? Adaptation. Ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are benefits human derive from nature, including pollination, water purification, carbon storage, soil fertility. These services support human well-being and economic stability. What are all the services provided by the environment is called as ecosystem services. Tell me, what are all the services provided by the environment? Water, air, vegetation, ఏమేమి సర్వీసెస్, ఇంకా న్యూట్రియంట్ సైకిల్, వాటర్ సైకిల్, కార్బన్ సైకిల్, హైడ్రోజన్ cycle, this all been done by whom? Ecosystem. So for proper environmental protection, we need to have what services? Ecosystem services. Climate resilience. Climate resilience అంటే ఏంటంటే, we should establish systems such that whatever the change in climate, it should not impact us. We should be in a position to adapt ourselves to the climate. That type of infrastructure we need to make, which is called as climate resilient. For example, mangroves, tsunami come, mangroves are there. Whether the force of the tsunami will be reduced by the mangroves or not, that is called as what? Climate resilience. We should build our infrastructure such that we should not be easily impacted by the climate change. We should be in a position to adapt it. A tsunami is there. Then how best I can adapt myself? By having huge mangroves. Earthquakes are common. Then what I should do? I should not go with concrete. I should go with wooden walls. Wherever the earthquakes are there, Nepal, there the houses are constructed by wood. What will happen? It will not collapse completely. It will just fall like this. So some or the other way we can escape. But concrete, it will demolish. It becomes debris. That is called as what? Climate resilience. Geoengineering. Large scale intervention in Earth's climate system to counteract climate change, like developing big carbon sequestration chambers. Means the mechanisms which we are making ourselves to mitigate means make less. మిటిగేట్ అంటే దాని యొక్క ఇంపాక్ట్ని తక్కువ చేయడం అన్నమాట. ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు మిటిగేట్ ద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్, వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ సమ్ న్యూ టెక్నాలజీస్, న్యూ ఇంజనీరింగ్ మెథడ్స్, దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ జియో ఇంజనీరింగ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, కార్బన్ sequestration tanks I developed. Whether the carbon amount which is there in the atmosphere will be reduced or not. So I developed what? Carbon sequestration tanks. It is called as what? Geoengineering. By using the technology, I am reducing the impact of climate change. That is called as what? Mitigation effort. I am mitigating the impact. By using engineering marvel, by using engineering technology, that concept is called as geoengineering. Endangered species, very important. Whenever you see in the newspaper, this species is critically endangered, extinct, you have to compulsory wait there and write in your notes. Compulsory 1 or 2 questions are damn sure. Which species are becoming endangered, which species are becoming critically endangered according to IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. There will be a red list. In this red list they will tell what are endangered, what are critically endangered. Critically endangered means very soon they are going to become extinct. Endangered means very soon they are going to become critically endangered. Extinct, critically endangered, vulnerable. Endangered species means who are going to become extinct after becoming critically endangered. In the near future, that particular species is going to become extinct. Those species are called as what? Endangered species. Any such species if you come across in your newspaper, you should write. International Union for Conservation of Nature. International Union for Conservation of Nature. That IUCN body will give one red list book. In that red list book, every month they will release which species became extinct, which species became critically endangered, first extinct, then critically endangered, then vulnerable. Ocean acidification. Ocean acidification occurs when carbon dioxide dissolves in seawater, lowering pH and harmful marine life, especially shells. The marine life which is having shells, those shells will be damaged because of acidification of ocean. Why acidification of ocean will happen? When the carbon is entering into the ocean. And this acidified ocean water will impact which species mainly? Shell species. And the shells will be broken in the marine life. Automatically they will die. So this ocean acidification is impacting which life? It disrupts marine ecosystem and food chains. Environmental governance, finally. Environmental governance encompasses policies, laws, institutions, managing environmental issues, promoting accountability and transparency. So we need to have environmental governance. చట్టాలు తయారు చేయాలి, పాలసీస్ తయారు చేయాలి. అవి దేనికి అనుకూలంగా పనిచేయాలి? ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ప్రొటెక్షన్కి అనుకూలంగా పనిచేసేటటువంటి చట్టాలు మనం ఎప్పుడైతే తయారు చేస్తామో అలాంటి వాటిని ఏమంటాం మనం? Environmental governance. So in order to protect the environment, in order to conserve the environment, what type of governance we need to adopt? Environmental governance. So in the conclusion, whatever may be the question, in the process of acid rain, in the process of acidification, in the process of eutrophication, in the process of any environmental degradation we are noticing, the best solution is environmental governance. What is environmental governance? The policies, the laws, the regulations, the rules made by the government is for protection of that particular governance mechanisms are called as zero waste. So what should be our target? Zero waste. The target should be zero waste. Zero waste is an environmental philosophy and strategy aimed at minimizing waste generation and maximizing recycling, reuse and composting. So the final target should be what? Zero waste. Recycling, reusing, remanufacturing, composting, and the target is what? Waste should not be generated only. If the waste is generated also, that waste should not be calculated. The waste should be immediately recycled, reused. It encourages redesigning products and systems to avoid waste at the source. Achieving zero waste reduces landfill use, conserve resources, helps mitigate climate change impacts. If anyone is coming from Dammaiguda in Secunderabad, you will see very big lands, waste, mountains. In Delhi, when we are going from Delhi to Noida, big mountains of waste we will see. Those are called as landfills. Why it is happening? Because of no zero waste. So what should be our agenda? Zero waste. So what are all the terms we discussed up to now? What are all the terms we discussed? Fast. Biodiversity, deforestation, afforestation, ecosystem. నాకు సంబంధం లేదు సార్ అంటారా? నెక్స్ట్ బయోస్పియర్, నెక్స్ట్ యూట్రోఫికేషన్, నెక్స్ట్ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్, నెక్స్ట్ గ్రీన్ హౌస్ గ్యాసెస్, నెక్స్ట్ యూట్రోఫికేషన్, నెక్స్ట్ ఓజోన్ లేయర్, carbon sequestration, coral bleaching, desertification, sustainable development goals, next renewable energy, next carbon trading, next carbon footprint, acid rains, environmental impact assessment, environmental footprint, carbon footprint, environmental governance, zero waste, inka online green that is green infrastructure, geoengineering, zero waste, urban heat island, next microplastics, aquifers, composting, biomagnification, marine pollution, coral reefs, coral bleaching, hydrosphere, biosphere, ocean acidification, which is impacting what? Shells. Next, biomass energy, green economy, circular economy, carbon neutrality, ecotourism, Anthropocene, very good. Anthropocene, composting, habitat fragmentation, zero waste, finally zero waste. These are all the things which we discussed. Okay, ఇవే టెర్మినాలజీస్ మీకు యూజ్ అవుతాయి. మీరు ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్ళండి, నేను ఛాలెంజ్ చేస్తాను, ఇవే పదాలు ఇవే వస్తాయి. దీని మీద మనం డెవలప్ చేసుకోవాలన్నమాట. మన బేసిక్స్ అంటాం కదా, బేసిక్స్ అంటే ఇవే. All terminology classes completed. Extra we gave 6 orientation sessions I gave. Earlier we didn't give. Have you watched 6 videos? Today you completed 6 orientation sessions, terminology classes, and Monday onwards your NCERT classes. I am challenging you, any academy in India does 6 orientation sessions and terminology classes. 100% challenge. Tomorrow 11 to 1. Okay, thank you.